Let's try that again.
It doesn't play over it anyway.
What's going on, everybody? It is Monday. We survived another weekend. This is Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm, of course, your narrator supreme, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo. With me, as always, Mr. Tom Connors.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are.
Yes, and actually, we also have the red-haired demon Harpy herself. Your favorite YouTube Harpy, Miss Mecca Random.
Yeah, you know how you sometimes introduce me as award-winning chef? You will be the judge of that.
Yes.
We'll get into that a little later, yes.
You will be the judge of that. Stay tuned for that.
And joining us actually is the boss man, Andre, fresh off the premiere of the He-Man editorial.
Greetings, everyone. Glad to be here.
We're glad that
Jam-packed show
here on the After Dark channel. So okay, so it's Monday.
Right, it is.
Yeah, we had pretty.
Well, it appears that we should have been at PowerCon instead of Star Trek Las Vegas, huh?
Right.
I would have loved to have been
anywhere else. We should have been at a used car dealership opening or something. You know, like that's kind of lucky we had.
But anyway, right off the bat, we got some super chats. $2 from Mr. Wolverine 007 says, "I have the power," which will go perfectly into our chat with Andre, which is why he's here. We've got another $5 super chat from Mark C, which will lead right into our conversation. Being a Tila story doesn't necessarily mean woke. The answer depends on who is primary He-Man writer, Kevin Smith or SJW Mark Bernardine, however you say his name. I know who he is. He's on all his podcasts and stuff. Thank you so much for the super chats. We'll get into that part of the conversation, I'm sure. So Andre, do you want to kick this conversation off since you just had an editorial drop on the main channel?
Yeah, certainly. Well, basically, there's a new He-Man revival series coming that doesn't have He-Man in the name. It's just called Masters of the Universe Revelation. And I didn't put this in editorial, but what kind of a title is that? Revelation. I see why they do it. It's obviously the revelation of the secrets of Grayskull. That's what the title is referring to. But like, what a low budget title. You have like Hellraiser Revelation and Prophecy Revelation. And how many revelations do we have out there for all kinds of shitty sequels? It's not a great title in that way, I think. But still, everything else, I think, is something to be excited about. It's going to be a continuation of Filmation, a very loose one, because they say it's going to continue right where it dropped off. Well, where it dropped off was actually in the She-Ra series with the unicorn being born. So that's a pretty vague thing. It's a reboot that just like uses the original series as a vague starting point, and then it gets into the stories that were alluded to, storylines that were begun but never concluded, and possibly the biggest of the unconcluded storylines is just the one they're telling right here, the one about Tila and her basically being predetermined to be the sorceress of Grayskull. So I can absolutely see why they're doing this. I can, of course, see why people are worried that, oh, this is going woke and everything, and is putting a female-centric spin on it. And if we're really unlucky, they may do that. But really, there is precedence for this in the original series. There was a build-up there that was never resolved, and that's what they're doing here. And I'm kind of excited about that. That's my thoughts, at least. But I'm curious, what do you guys think about that?
So there was a buildup that was never resolved. So
yes.
J.J. Abrams was involved in the series?
Well, I'm sure his spiritual successor was, among many others. The series had numerous writers, but the problem was that continuity wasn't that big a thing back then in TV. So like it was.
I think it needs to be said though that people like Brad Bird and Paul Dini and stuff like that worked on the original
JMS.
series.
JMS from Babylon 5. Yeah.
The big thing is, and like all the also, I think DC Fontana wrote some episodes of He-Man or something like that
I
too.
think she did as well. Also,
I
it
think
should
you're
be
right.
mentioned with the Paul Dini, all the cool stuff that he brought into Batman the animated series, especially the chemistry between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn and those other characters. That was a further evolution of the chemistry between the characters and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. There were so many talents, Straczynski among them, who went on to do Babylon 5, that started out on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And they were the ones that penned some of these storylines, like the one with Tila and the Sorceress of Grayskull.
Well, the big thing to remember is that back then, syndicated television in the U.S., everything, a lot of times networks, television stations would show everything out of order. So they really couldn't do any kind of serialized storyline, even though Robotech did. And even that, sometimes stuff was jumbled out of order.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do remember that one episode where they said that Tila was actually the sorcerer. The sorceress was her name.
Yeah, Sorceress, the Sorceress
of
of Grayskull.
Grayskull. Yeah, where they actually said that she was the Sorceress of Grayskull's daughter, and it will be passed on to you, my daughter. And what the? Oh shit! My television came back to life.
Well,
Right,
Becca
guys?
had something to say too. It sounded like there quick.
Do it live.
I forgot what it was. Sorry.
Oh, well, all right. Well, we do have a super chat here, and that'll get us into another portion of the conversation. Chief Cook sends us $4.99. I bet they will make She-Ra more powerful than He-Man if SJW will make it happen.
Well, we know there's not going to be a crossover, according to what Noelle Stevenson said about 6 or 7 months ago, that she has no plans of having any sort of crossover anytime soon. Now, that was the thing I was going to ask you about, Tom. Didn't you say or discover something where the rights were going for He-Man were all going to Mattel, and while Netflix and DreamWorks have all the She-Ra stuff, so they're kind of like splitting off the universe?
Well, that's kind of I think I found something about that a while ago. I can't remember where it was from exactly to verify that right at the moment. But yeah, basically, as Andre pointed out in his editorial, never the two shall meet. And that is because DreamWorks has a license right now for She-Ra, and Masters of the Universe is on its own with Mattel. And that's why you'll never see the two crossover right now. Not because what's her face is just not thinking about it. It's more so she can't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Exactly. That's like she can say that. Oh, there's no plans about that. That's a way of trying to remain in control instead of admitting we can't. It's not on the cards. He-Man can never appear because we don't have the rights. It just sounds so much better to say that now we don't have any plans to that direction. But the truth is they can't, and they never could.
Yeah, that's what I was understanding.
And she gave a non-answer, pretty much.
Yeah. So at least there's that. Now I'm kind of on the fence about this, because on the one hand, I like that. I know a lot of people in my comments when I did my videos about this already, people are like, oh no, Kevin Smith's a shill. Kevin Smith is SJW. He's going to ruin it. I still have faith in him, and I think he's going to give a lot of the fans what they want. But then I saw, oh yeah, it's all about Tila. That could really, really fall into the anti-He-Man category. I have no problem with having a great female-centered storyline that is true to the universe, that is, a sequel, and will tie up loose ends. That would be amazing. Just don't bash the male characters while you're doing it. Don't make He-Man a side character in his own universe. Don't make him, at least not so much of one. Don't take away his balls, basically, is what I always like to say about all these heroes, because that seems to be the thing that they keep doing. Everything from Thor to Han Solo to all that, they just take away everything that makes the characters cool. So
there could be something to worry about, because the part of the story is the finding of the sword. Mm-hmm. Now, this could mean that He-Man stuck his Adam through a lot of the story.
Okay.
But, as Andre pointed out in his editorial, and in the beginning of this, I believe too, Tila's story has not been finished yet. There was a lot set up in the original series, and Neil asked earlier if he should watch the original series. There's probably a select few episodes you should watch. You don't necessarily have to watch all 100 of them, but yeah. Or
no, there's no need for that. It's quite sufficient if you watch like five episodes, 10
5 or
at the
10,
most.
yeah.
Watch 5 or 10 episodes.
And
not
actually, I think
any
most of
5
those are
or
on the
10.
fan favorite CD or DVD set that come out a while back. Most of them are on there, I think, if I remember right.
I don't know what's on it. I'd be very happy to compile
The
this
one with
episode.
I believe the one that ties directly with this, the Tila one, is on there. I'm pretty sure the one where He-Man, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really good episode. I think Paul Dini wrote it, where I think he decides that he's not going to be He-Man anymore or something like that or something. There's a couple other great episodes on there too that kind of cover a lot of the basics of what you should probably. I'm going to double check on that, but if so, I'll bring it up in another podcast later in the week and say, yeah, check that out. So, but yeah, I'm sure there's a good list of it out there somewheres.
Yeah, and if not, I'd be very happy to compile a list of the.
That's a good idea for a video.
Yeah, I might do that. Like the 10 episode or the 5 episodes that you must see and 5 more you should see, but no more than 10. That's really all you need to get everything, because the original series, honestly, I think it's pretty amazing, and it holds up. Some of the episodes hold up really well.
Oh yeah,
most of them don't. But the ones that do, they are still pretty decent.
Oh yeah, some still hold up really well, and then some of them, like you said, they're like basically what they are, a 30-minute commercial for a toy.
Yeah, pretty much.
It can't be any worse than going back and watching G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, I mean,
I'm not even that big of a G.I. Joe fan, but I think G.I. Joe had a little bit better production value for the animation. But
you had cold weather trooper running around in the middle of the jungle in his winter gear.
Well, that's because you'd have to change the model, Rob.
Yeah, I know. He-Man got off easy when you think about it.
How many Asian sweatshops do you think can animate in real time like that when you change the model mid-stroke? It just don't work,
And that is one thing that He-Man and the Masters of the Universe deserves credit for. That Filmation, the studio, insisted on doing everything in the States, keeping jobs stateside.
Yeah, for all the shortcuts Filmation always made in their animation, they always did the best they could for the quality and keeping it, like you said, in the U.S. And that's one thing and it's sad that there's not a lot of that, that not a lot of other companies that did that. And I think that's why He-Man to me kind of stood out above the rest. To me, when I was a kid, that was one thing I really remember gravitating towards, other than like Star Wars and Superman, was He-Man. Like my earliest memory is sitting, and I think I've said this on one of our podcasts before, whereas, my dad saying, sit down and watch this. And I'm like, why would he want to make me watch I Love Lucy? I don't want to watch I Love Lucy. Well, it was the last 2-3 minutes of I Love Lucy. And as soon as I Love Lucy was over, it all of a sudden came He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And I was like, for the next 30 minutes, my whole fucking world changed. It's like, because it was like the toy I'd been playing with all this time is on TV and it's moving and talking and there's Skeletor. And, it was like, holy shit, it was really crazy. For a little kid like that, my mind was blown. So $5 from super chat from Mark C. Complete series He-Man and She-Ra box sets are coming October 1st. That is correct. They're getting re-released again. I do have the original He-Man run of shows outside of the middle series. They only did select episodes for some reason in the box that I have, but otherwise it has the full thing of He-Man. It has the full thing of the 2001 or 2, whenever that came out. Or was it later than
2002.
Yeah, 2002 series. Yeah,
that, by the way, is an amazing series.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the style is going to be very similar to that, more so than the original. I think it's going to kind of be a cross between that and the paintings that we've seen in.
I think it's going to look a little more like the Netflix Castlevania, because that's who's doing it.
To a point, yeah.
Studio, so it's going to look a little more anime, I think. But,
which is what the 2002 series basically is.
Yeah,
exactly. So I also think it's going to look more like the 2002 series, but probably even more polished, because they're going for the box art look by Obrero. So I'm really excited about the visuals there. Looking forward to that.
And just in case anybody's wondering what we're talking about here, I'll bring it up real quick here, just so they know. Because I don't know. I doubt you've ever seen this series, Mecca, I'm sure.
No.
or even aware of it. Maybe
I've heard of it because I've watched, like, I think they mentioned it in the Toys That Made Us or the He-Man.
Yeah, I think they
I love the 80s He-Man one or whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. But it's a really good series, and it sucks because it ended. I don't know if it ended on a cliffhanger, but I think they had plans to do more, and it never finished.
Yeah. No, it didn't end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was like a reasonably satisfying end, but they had built up so much more. They had built up Hordak. They had alluded to She-Ra. That's where they were going in season 3, which never happened. But since it was cancelled, thank God it was cancelled, not on a cliffhanger, but on a reasonably satisfying ending point. But one that made you wish for more, because it's one of the better reboots I've ever seen. So it's such a shame that the audience didn't bite.
Oh yeah, I was there. I watched it. I taped it, and then I remember getting the DVD set. But it's been years since I've watched it. And then I got this. Of course, it came again in my box set. But yeah, I remember it being really, really well done. So hopefully this will follow a lot of that series, and we can hope for the best. I mean, I don't know how much of a He-Man fan Kevin Smith is. I don't know if we've really talked about this much yet. I mean, I gotta imagine he was kind of aged out of He-Man by the time.
I think he was a little older for it, but
I was gonna say.
Well, that's kind of my thought, was that he would at least
more
know from a
closer to-
fan's perspective that he would like do right for the fans, because he is a fan of so many things, right?
He's closer to Rob's age, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Kevin Smith kind of likes everything, though. That's
true. That's true.
He may be into the comics. We may not know. He may have gotten into the comics later on. That's very possible.
If he's into the comics, that's perfectly fine. Because
and that's who's producing the show. Is that one? Go ahead, Andre, and get into that if you want.
It's the writer of, or one of the writers of, the DC reboot of the He-Man comics, and that was a really, really good reboot. So hopefully he will be keeping Kevin Smith in check a little bit, and if he does, then I think we're in good hands, because I don't know how big a fan Kevin Smith is of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe either. He's a little bit too old to have been all that impacted by it, but perhaps he was. We don't know. But I think that he has the pedigree that he might do it justice, especially with the help from Mattel. Because what I think is the most significant thing about this is that this is being made at all. And it's being made by Mattel under their new studio after they have an outspoken strategy of trying to capitalize more on their brands and bringing them into the forefront. And this is an effort to that end, which just goes to show that they're serious. And they're quite serious about their brand management. Part of the reason why we haven't gotten a He-Man movie so far, after like 15 years of trying, is because the various film makers that have been attached, they haven't really understood the brand, and they try to do it in other directions. And then Mattel have said, no, can't do that. And that has been cause for some of the delay, and rightfully so, I might add.
Well, so Rob, you were what, about 13 when the toys came out? 14, somewhere in there?
When
roughly?
did they?
83, 82?
Yeah.
Yeah, 80. And it was like 12, 13. Yeah. Yeah.
So you would have been, what was your observation at the time? Obviously, you probably weren't really into the toys. You would have been a little too old, but I mean, you would have seen the phenomenon take over, at the time. What was your observation then?
Okay, it was like, okay, cool. People are in there. Everybody's into that. I'm not. I was avidly reading Marvel comics by then.
And it fit right into that, and Conan, and of course there's some connection to Conan. I don't know if Andre wants to get into that at all before he goes, but
there absolutely is a strong connection between He-Man and Conan. The concept for that would evolve into He-Man that predated the licensing agreement between Conan Properties and Mattel. So there was a pre-existing concept. However, how He-Man further evolved, there's very little coincidence there. That there was a strong influence from Conan. But the details of that we're going to get into in a later video.
All right. Well, now as far as characterizations of the characters, are we hoping they're going to be closer to the Filmation ones, Andre, or do you hope they're going to be more like the 2002, or do you think they're even going to? Oops, that's not the one I wanted to share again. Do you think they're even going to be nearly the same at all, or what do you think they're going to go with here as far as like the characterizations?
I would think that it's going to be both, because the beauty with the 2002 version was that already was the perfect, more serialized version, a slightly more adult version of the Filmation series. So I don't see how you can do a modern reboot or a revival of the Filmation series without it inadvertently becoming more like the 2002 series.
Well, I hope they at least get somebody who can do Skeletor's voice close enough. We need that much.
There was almost a little bit of Mickey Mouse in that laughter.
Yeah, it got there a little bit, but it helps if you have the echo. The echo always helps. If you don't have the echo, it just doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
I don't understand how nobody thought of. Well, obviously it didn't. It didn't. But did anybody really say, you know what, talking skull on top of a bodybuilder's, a professional wrestler's body? You don't think that's gonna freak people out? You don't think that's gonna freak kids out?
I'm blue, and blue goes with everything.
True, yeah.
they already had market research saying that this was something that looked cool, and the kids loved it.
Well, they kind of stole it from Conan. That was one thing they really stole from Conan.
That they absolutely stole from Conan. Like, there's no question about that. That's a pure ripoff
Tulsa
of
Doom,
Tulsa Doom. Yeah. He-Man, you can argue, but Skeletor, that's pure Tulsa Doom. That's 100% ripoff.
Well, they were sure to go and, well, make He-Man 25% more different than Conan. Give him blonde hair instead of dark hair, lighter skin than darker skin, and make him a bit more Anglo than,
But the funny thing is that in his original mini-comic incarnation, He-Man 2 he wasn't Prince Adam. He was a barbarian.
Yes.
Who traveled away from his tribe to discover civilization, much like Conan.
Yes, it was very much like Conan. And a lot of what we can, and that's probably why they're saying the Filmation series, and Neil said it again, and I mentioned it to him. I said, if you've seen the 2002 series, you probably don't have to see the Filmation series, because they cover a lot of that really well in that series. I think they got to alluding that she's the whole thing with Tila, didn't they? In that, it's been a while since I watched it.
I don't. Yes, they did.
I was going to say, I thought so.
They even alluded to who her father is.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I remember. It's been like, God, good 10, 15 years since I watched that series. I need to sit down and watch it. So I'm sure a lot of that's covered in there too. So again, that's really, I think, where this series is going. I hope we get some He-Man in it. I don't think he's going to be the focal point per se, but if it's supposed to be about the final battle between him and Skeletor, that's really going to be played up too, I'm sure. So,
Scravage sent us a super chat and a question to go with it about the characters. Let's see, that is a $4.99 super chat saying, does anyone know if Mattel has the rights to use the original Filmation characters? If you mean the original characters that were created from or for the Filmation cartoon, I think that they have the rights now. I think that there was some kind of wrangling, something like that Mattel had a part ownership of the series, and therefore they had a claim.
Well, not so just that, Filmation doesn't even exist anymore, do they?
Exactly.
Really?
So that when they closed their doors, one of two things would happen. Either all of their characters would be locked up in a vault, so no one could ever use them again, or they would go where there still was a part ownership, and that part ownership was with Mattel. So, for instance, a similar thing would be Marshall Bravestar.
Or
That
Bebop and
was
Rocksteady and Krang too is another one that were created for the series, but then later on they got the rights from
exactly, yeah.
Sorry.
Same thing here. So basically, all the rights for the original characters created for Filmation, I mean, sorry, would be with Mattel now. So they can use anything that was in the Filmation series.
The only limitations would be I don't expect anybody from She-Ra to show up, and I think that might is now. I haven't watched the new series. Is the Horde even part of the new series, Mecca? Do you remember it all?
I think so.
So if the Horde's in the new series, my guess is we probably won't see, unless there's some kind of cross-pollination there to where they're able to use the characters just because.
No.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think Hordak is in there, so or whatever. God,
yeah, he's
I only
part
watched
of the Horde.
Yeah, I only watched the first 2 episodes. That was that awful. So
I think that the entire Horde and Hordak with it is locked up with She-Ra, and they can't use that unless they separately license it. Because here's the thing to keep in mind, though. That these are 2 different licenses. She-Ra is one license and He-Man is another license. However, Mattel is the ultimate owner of both. If they want to grant the use of both He-Man and She-Ra and the Horde and Hordak and everything for one licensee, whether it be movie, animation, something like that, they can. So it's much less frigid than you have with certain other things, because basically the only reason they decided to split them up is to be able to monetize them more by sending them to different licensees. But there's no other real reason why they have to be split up into different licenses. So if Mattel decides that, okay, in the movies Sony can have everything and mix everything together, they can do that.
Right, and then I was also saying it could be something like with the Avengers, to where they could use certain Avengers in X-Men, and they could use certain Avengers in at the same time. You know, for instance, the twins. You know, because they're cross-pollinated characters, maybe that's where the Horde falls in. I was thinking possibly.
They're saying Hordak is a clone. Living Peanut says Hordak is a clone of Horde Prime, according to the new series.
Okay, so it's hard to say on that part. We'll have to wait and see. We did get a $5 super chat from Captain Hare. He demands a Skeletor versus Old Man Picard rap battle. We'll have to see what I can come up with at some point. Yeah. Maybe we'll save that for a Friday show, like we did the Batman animated thing.
And Scravage also sent us another $1.99 super chat saying, "Thanks, Andre and Tom, for answering his question. Well, it was our pleasure."
Yeah, I couldn't find the original one, or I put it up here. It only lets me have so many. After a while, it disappears. So I think I lost it. So anyway, yes, we did catch that, though. Sorry about missing that at first. I don't think I missed any more super chats. So was there anything else, Andre, you had to add to this conversation before we let you get to bed because you have to work in a few hours? Or?
Yeah, that's true. No, I just want to say I'm really, really hopeful. I am really excited about this project, and I just hope that Kevin Smith is going to do it justice. I'm not overtly worried that it's going to be ultra woke or anything like that. The risk, of course, is obviously there. But again, with the storyline with Teela, the setup was already there in the original series. So I just hope that they do this right.
Same here. I'm a huge fan, and I hope it feels nostalgic, but at the same time new and fresh, to where they get the right mix, kind of like Cobra Kai. Oh, we got another super chat. $5 from Adam Ofer. Do you want to take this one, Rob?
Adam Over. Hey guys, where is all of your long videos? It helps when I'm at work. Also, have you heard of Woke Highlander movie? The long videos are actually on a playlist on both
the main channel and this channel now, I think.
Yeah,
Andre.
Yeah,
you've put a lot of longer videos in playlists.
Yes, there's a playlist on the main channel that's called Roundtables and Discussions, and there you will find all of the longer unedited roundtable discussions that were on the main channel, plus some select ones from After Dark as well. And if your next question is going to be, well, why do we do this? Why do we unlist them and just put them in the playlists? And the reason is quite simple. YouTube punishes us really badly if we don't.
Yeah, and there's something with the YouTube algorithm that it favors
numbers. Yeah,
it favors the shorter videos over the longer ones.
Well, not just that. Some people that aren't like our fans, like you guys that show up for the live shows and stuff, other people who just stumble upon those videos, they'll watch it and then they're like, oh, I'm not going to sit here and watch an hour-long conversation and check out. So then that tells the algorithm that people aren't watching that video, hence the next video we put out isn't as promoted, etc. down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the longer videos don't tend to show up in the recommendations that you see over on the sidebar, over on the right-hand side as well. So
and mobile. Forget about mobile.
That's how what Tom just mentioned feeds into that. I mean, like I said, they check out early of a video and then it doesn't get recommended to other people. So it's all very complex, and anybody who figures it out, YouTube probably hires them to make it even more complicated.
Yeah, probably.
$5 super chat from Tim Riggs. Word of warning though, Kevin Smith doesn't work well outside his own process. Maybe this will.
I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Rob.
Maybe not be too Hollywood system. Who knows? Well,
I don't think it's going to be too Hollywood. It's something that's done by a really, really small team. Because basically what happens here is that there's a writer room that Kevin Smith is in charge of, and then you have the executive producer for Mattel that's in charge of Kevin Smith, that keeps him in line. I would imagine that he's already been through a vetting process for getting this opportunity to begin with. So fingers crossed, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I think see, here's the thing with Kevin is, I mean, I've been a lifelong Kevin Smith fan since I can remember. I was an early Clerks fan. So he does, even though he does have some, how am I going to put this? There are times he can get very
he loves a lot of stuff. He's very much a fan of things.
And I think as long as he has people steering him, like I keep forgetting the gentleman's name, who's the executive producer, help me out here, Andre, who wrote the comic that you bring up in your editorial.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I got the name here.
Oh, I have it here too.
I don't have that in my head, of course.
Okay, yeah. I know it's late for you two on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
David
Rob
something.
Rob
David. I should have remembered that. Jesus, that's my brother and Rob's name together, for Pete's sake. And that's David is also his brother's name. Yeah, Rob David, I think, is really going to be the guy steering the ship here as far as like the story and everything, which I think is a good thing. And I know like some people are worried about some of the people involved. Well, one of them worked on Supergirl, who I'm sure was one of Kevin's bring-ons because he worked on it. And that's the other thing. Kevin's going to be working on a CW show, I think, at the same time as this or something. We're still working on a few other things. So he's got other things in the pipeline too besides this, I think. So he's not going to be like, he's going to be a showrunner, but I don't think he's going to be like worried. He's not going to be writing the scripts and stuff is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. If you have anything to add to that, Andre, before we go.
No, I don't really have anything to add to that.
You don't think he'll be writing the scripts at all, do you?
Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
No, he'll just be overseeing the writer's room.
Right. So I wouldn't worry too much about that as far as like that kind of stuff goes, but we'll have to see. And there was one other thing here. I thought I missed a super chat. Okay, here it is. I think there's another one before this too. $4.99 from Chief Cook. If they do a He-Man movie, will we hear Adam say by the power of Grayskull or do something else?
We will absolutely. Okay, first of all, they will be doing the He-Man movie. It's currently pushed back a little bit, but it's not cancelled. That movie is happening now. I'm pretty certain of that. Will he say by the power of Grayskull? I would be shocked if he didn't, because that's one of like the iconic things. They even had that in the 1987 movie. So it's definitely going to be there. If there's going to be a Prince Adam or something, I don't know. But there's going to be an occasion where He-Man says, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power, because that has to be in there.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why they left Adam out of the 87 movie other than just logistically time, probably. It was just easier just not to have the character, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that was the reason. Sometimes it's that simple. But guys, I have to call it the night. I just want to say thanks for having me, and thanks to each and everyone in the chat. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
Yes, and thank you so much for the super chats. We appreciate that as well.
Thumbs up if you like Andre Bean.
Yes. It's very late for Andre, so do show him some love.
Yes, all right, excellent. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, buddy.
Good night.
Take care, Andre. All right, well, we do have another surprise coming up here. Oh, sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
We do? Another surprise? I was about to say, just nice when the boss goes on the After Dark channel.
Well, that's because we have to behave then.
That's right.
No fucking around like Beast Man. He's always pissing on everything.
Beast Man's
my territory. I can't do a Beast Man though.
So, all right.
We do have a surprise coming up here. Mecca sent something to Rob, so we're gonna see what that's all about.
Yes.
But before we do that, we have some other news.
Mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, mind out of the gutter. Nothing that bad. We've got our first look at Death in Bill and Ted 3.
Death, our favorite character from Bill and Ted 2. My favorite character.
No one has ever won.
You sank my battleship.
You sank my battleship. I believe Colonel Mustard did it in the study with a candlestick. You're wrong, dude. It was Professor Plum. I said Plum.
Best of 7.
Best of 7. Damn right.
I made a video on this, and just the entire thing is just quotes from Death. And that's how you know you have a good character. They're just infinitely quotable and amazing. And I think that's why he's my favorite character on the second movie. You can just, everything he says and does is just so quotable. It's one of my rules about movies, you know, bad movies quote good movies. Good movies are just quotable.
Don't overlook my butt. Reaping burns lots of calories.
Of course.
All right, so let's get our first look at.
Oh shit! Do you have the video, Rob?
No, I don't have. You have the video.
Oh, Mecca does actually have the video. I have a picture.
I'll put it up there.
Do you want me to screen share the video?
Go ahead. Yeah, let's just do the part with. Yeah, we'll cut it off before he gets into the other stuff. Now, just so people know what we're cutting off, he did this video because he missed a big anniversary celebration of Shawshank Redemption, but he did it in his makeup. So we're going to show you the part where he's actually talking about Bill and Ted, and then we'll cut it off there so we don't get in trouble.
Oh wait, I gotta stop. I gotta redo it because I gotta do with audio.
Yeah, that's all right. No problem. Yeah, you got to remember to do that. Or people can't hear you. I could have done this too, I suppose. But all right, here we go. Go ahead, Mecca.
I know what you're thinking. What's so important that Bill's doing that he can't come to the 25th anniversary of the Shawshank Redemption in Mansfield, Ohio, with all of these wonderful people? I wish I could tell you, but you know, Hollywood is a very secretive place, and you know, I can't disclose anything. So you'll just have to, you know, guess. I wanted to say thank you in person. I really did.
Yeah, that's about as far. Okay, that's everything else.
Ooh, I'm getting giddy.
The accent. It's like,
and he just breaks right into character. It's like it doesn't even skip a fucking beat.
Right, it's just great. I love it. I hope we get some really good quotes for this one too.
I'm sure he's gonna have. I'm getting too old for this.
Something he'll have
because. I don't know. We haven't talked about this yet, Mecca. But do you know that bad guy that they cast the one dude who has that alopecia or whatever disease it is where he can't grow hair?
Yeah.
There's people rumoring he's going to play the Son of Death, he's the bad guy. Yeah. So that's a very big possibility.
Well, it's either that or he's supposed to be the son of Denomalus, though. That might be.
That could be a possibility too. But if he's the Son of Death, that would be really cool and bitchin'. And not only that, play into the fact that, well, of course, you know. Rufus is gone. And also, I don't think you and I have gotten a chance to talk about this because it came out in between when everything was going on with Vegas and everything. There was alternate pictures of there's some different pictures of Ted, and he had like a weird beard and hairdo, and then they had the smarter version, like I said. I have a feeling we're going to go into alternate dimensions, like I said, too. So we're going to see different versions of Bill and Ted.
Or maybe it might just be different like versions of the timeline. It might be like a little bit of a Scrooge sort of situation where we have
or Back to the Future 2, yeah, maybe where they have to keep fixing shit.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be cool. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait a year. God damn it. We got a year yet.
I know. Well, maybe we can go to the premiere or something. Maybe we can do a fund me for the premiere.
Maybe that'd be sweet.
And Indy, let's go or something.
I'll just start begging Ed Sullivan. I mean, I've been kind of corresponding here and there with him. We'll see if I can beg him. Be like, give us a pass at the premiere, please. Oh, I can't wait to see this. Rob, you're not a huge Bill and Ted fan, are you? Or have you even seen both movies?
Yeah, I've seen both movies. Yeah, I saw both movies. I saw the first one on cable. I saw the second one at the movies. I like Bill and Ted. I'm looking forward to this. I'm not as big a fan as you guys, but I do like Bill and Ted.
I don't think anybody knows how big of a fan I am. I'm like a scary big fan, almost as bad as He-Man kind of thing.
When the second movie came out, I named my goldfish Bill, Ted, Joanna, and Elizabeth because I was a big fan of the movies.
Aww.
I was also like 12, so shut up.
You were at the right age for it, though. That's same with me. It was like it came out right at the right time. Especially the second one.
The second one so much, yeah, because that's the one that really resonated with me. Just the music.
Oh, I dressed like Bill for years, for like at least 2-3 years after that movie, like Bill does. And I'm serious. If anybody has pictures of me out there at that time period, I guarantee you I'm wearing a checkered flannel over top of another shirt, Adidas shoes, baggy fucking jeans, the whole hat backwards. Yep.
I had to get, I couldn't get like a Gibson, but I had to get as close as I could to Keanu's back then. This was from 1992. And I was like such a huge, like that. They inspired me to get into music quite a bit. I mean, just like the color schemes of my guitars, they were always black and red. That's kind of what they are now. They're always black and red, and just everything. Like they were just so influential at that right moment in time when I had to like put down Barbies and whatever. And actually, it was Gem and the Holograms, but I put down the Gem and the Holograms dolls and traded that in for like actual guitars and instruments and stuff. So. Yeah, that was really, really influential.
And they're not mean-spirited in any way. They're not influenced by any drugs or anything like that. They don't go off to get stoned, which, they're very accessible to both adults and kids in that sense.
They're just two guys that just want to have a good time, really.
And I think that's how Chris and Ed have basically said that they just are always out to have a good time and everybody's their friend.
I'm sure they're slackers. They're
slackers. Yeah, they're Valley Boys, but
you love San Dimas.
So crates. He loves baseball and billiards.
Oh, man. No, we got to do the watch parties. I got to get those. I haven't replaced any of my VHS.
I'll get you a copy. I've got so many copies of those. I'll get you a copy sooner or later. If anything, I'll send you my DVDs because I got the Blu-rays too. If not, I'll get you the Blu-rays. It's worth it. There's so much extra stuff on there. It's worth it. So
I haven't seen them in forever too. Yeah. It's been a while since I had them on VHS. So.
And I know this doesn't bother anybody else, but probably me and 2 other guys in the world. But they actually finally put the original version of the soundtrack of Part 2 on the Blu-ray because the mix that's on the DVD all these years bothered me because they didn't mix it the same way it was originally, and it just pissed me off. Because in the original stereo mix, like especially like for instance the scene where Bill and Ted are proposing to the girls, like Bill's in the left channel and Ted's in the right channel, and they keep panning back and forth, and it's like this really cool kind of soundscape. They totally didn't do that in the 5.1 mix. They just have all the voices coming out of the center. That's it. So like that total kind of like mix of the audio there just like is gone. I know it's stupid for some people, don't care, but for me it was like it bothered the piss out of me. It was like, what the fuck did they do to it? I was like, Oh, I was so mad.
Mr. Kurt LB, will the hot stepmom be in it? Will she still be hot? Yeah, she looks
Yes.
good. She looks
She's
good
in it.
still.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so is Ted's dad. I don't know about Bill's dad, but yep, Missy's going to be in it. She'll probably be married to Denamalos.
Probably.
Hey, Missy. I mean, Mom. Dude, do you remember when she was a senior? We were freshmen. Shut up.
Shut up, Ted. Or shut up. I can't believe Missy divorced your mom and married my dad.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Maybe she'll marry you and you'll be your own stepdad.
They were just lovable, like not the brightest guys, but they're well-meaning. And that was the charm. It's kind of like Beavis and Butthead a little bit, only less destructive.
Almost. Yes, and at least with Beavis and Butthead, you knew Butthead was the smarter one. These two, you never know who the smarter one. There's never a smarter one, and that's what the creators said is they were interchangeable.
Mhm.
Like the lines and everything were pretty interchangeable. Yeah,
They do have flashes of intelligence. But
well, yeah, they each do at their own moments. But that's the thing is that when they were first cast, they were actually reversed the roles, and they just said, no, I like it better the other way around. Call him Bill, call him Ted. That's how interchangeable they were at first.
Mhm.
Until the two kind of just made the roles their own, of course. But that was just on the page.
Well, if you look at Beavis and Butthead, they're very different. You know, they're very much
Same thing with Wayne and Garth. Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne and Garth are very different characters too. With all those buttons.
Butthead,
Tongue.
Butthead is the leader.
I think Ed Sullivan and Chris Matheson have even said that the duo share a brain.
All right.
So that's why they're so much alike, is they basically think the same.
Yeah. Whoa. Do you know what year
69, dudes.
Do you know what year the Mongols invaded China?
I don't know. I only work here. Gentlemen,
What?
perhaps we should ask them.
That is good. That is good.
As Christian Garcia Lloyd was the dumber one, but he was more conniving. That was the difference. Is like, yeah, he was the dumber one, but more conniving and easier at that kind of shit. And Harry was more naive and innocent, but smarter. Yeah.
I don't remember if I liked Dumb and Dumber or not. I know I saw it one time. I saw one time on VHS. I think I rented it when it came out, and I never watched it again. So I don't know if I like it or not. I don't remember disliking it.
I can see it not really being your kind of a movie, yeah, but it came out for me, at adolescent boy age, to where it was just the fucking movie at the time.
Yeah, and for me, like, what year was that? Like 94 or something?
Yes, 94 was the year of Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
that was probably the year I moved from Bill and Ted to Jim Carrey, most likely.
See, 94, I was really getting heavily into music and stuff, and I was less into movies too. So that might.
Well, I was always into music. That didn't change.
Yeah.
But I was always into music movies.
Oh yeah, I was always into music. I just got less enthusiastic about movies, I think.
Speaking of music and movies, I did finally get to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last night.
Sweet.
Have you seen it yet, Mecca? No, you haven't, have you?
Mm-mm.
I think you'll like it. It'll either be your favorite Tarantino movie ever, or it'll just be one of those where you're like, I liked it, it just wasn't as good as the others. Right. But I think you will. It's different than his other movies. I even think Rob would like it to a point. I don't know if he'll like the ending, but I'm not going to give anything away. That's all I'm going to say. But it's not like his. It has a lot of Tarantino moments. Don't get me wrong, but it's probably his most linear film he's ever done. Like, there's very little flashback. There's some flashbacks, but there's very little of that. And the music is a little bit more subdued than his normal stuff. He plays a lot of radio broadcasts from 69. So the soundtrack's filled up with a lot of broadcasts from an LA radio station, too. Like, they even have the Batman contest that was going on at the time where you could get to have lunch with Batman and Robin.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He does a really good job of capturing that moment in history, like the moment that the 60s hippie era died and we moved into the 70s. Yeah. He does a really good job of capturing that moment in the movie, I think.
That's cool. because that's kind of like Woodstock was this past weekend, the anniversary of Woodstock. So I've been kind of,
which is weird. Is he does it without even referencing that at all?
well, that's because nobody really cared about it. I mean, it just built so much later. You know, you had a few people who knew about a music festival, and then it grew after the movie. So yeah, it wouldn't have really hit.
Well, what was weird is I didn't know that
LA.
the two incidents were so close together. I never realized that until this movie, I guess.
Well, yeah, and Woodstock was like right after, so yeah, they might have advertised it maybe, but no, it hadn't even happened yet, so it wouldn't have been. It was only news because they were like airlifting in supplies and stuff from the army.
Of course, because that's only now we can look in retrospect that it was at the same time these two incidents were happening. One that defined the hippie movement and one that killed it all at once. We're all happening at the same time, but because it took so long for them to catch, the Manson family, and like you said, it took so long for Woodstock to become, the thing that it was in history. That in retrospect we can look back on it now, but. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even reference it, which is weird that they're going on roughly the same time, but they're on two different sides of the country.
It's not weird at all because they were just in the advertising stages, and it was a festival back east, so they probably wouldn't have even advertised.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like they were two completely different things, but it's so weird and how related they are. I don't know how if Rob has anything to say on that, since he's in the music aspect of it, especially. But
no.
Well, he's probably less of a Manson family expert than I am. So
you'll dig it. You'll dig it. They do a lot of cool shit with that.
Theater. That's the thing. I don't want to have to organize a time to go to the movies either. Like
I got lucky; it was free, so that's.
And then I don't want to take a day off to go and do that.
I know that was the part that I had to sacrifice. Is it took like 6-7 hours out of my day, and that's why this He-Man video is so late and all that kind of shit was because. And we have another video that hasn't gotten up yet that I've been working on, that's supposed to be up already because it just happened out of the blue. So it was like, okay, sacrifice the price and the bullshit just for the timing because I had to drive so far and everything. But it was worth it. It's a Tarantino movie, so it's worth it to me. So yeah.
I usually wait a few years anyway. I think I see them after the fact. So
this one I'll be curious because I'm sure it'll be on video sooner than later. The video turnaround is so quick now that it'll be out, and maybe I'll even buy it for you just so you can check it out because it's worth. Or maybe I'll get an extra.
I gotta figure out how to watch stuff too.
Well, I might get an extra digital one, and I never use them, so if not, I'll send you that.
I think I have an external DVD drive that I can plug in, like a USB one somewhere, but yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Blu-ray is on my laptop that I never use. I think I've turned on once in a year. So.
Well, I'll figure it out for you if not, because I really want to hear what you think of that movie because there's a lot of it. I'm like, Mecca's either gonna love this movie, or she's just gonna be like, well, it was good. It's not Reservoir Dogs or stuff. You might have that reaction to it too. I don't want to pin something on you, but there's just so many moments I'm like, she's either really going to click with this or it's going to piss her off. I don't know.
It depends on if they get the music right. If I start hearing a lot of shit from the 70s, I'm going to be pissed.
I got the soundtrack. It's got, let me see. I can give you a rundown of the soundtrack real quick. I know Deep Purple's on it. Paul Revere's heavy on it.
Yeah, they would have been in the 60s.
Yeah, it's very of the time, of course.
Deep Purple, I mean, you can only really get up to like Hush.
That's what he plays. I was like, oh, I love this. That's like my favorite Deep Purple song.
See, my favorite Child in Time, I think. So.
That's a good one too.
And Fireball, I'm like much more the 1930s.
Let me get it up here because he's got a lot of good shit on here. I mean, it's not as filled with the evergreen hits as he usually does. It's got some good ones, but.
I like it when they give me deeper tracks.
I was gonna say you might like the soundtrack
song that I hear a million times. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, and then here's your obligatory White Rabbit reference, and here's the Doors the end again, and here's
they reference the Doors, but I don't think there's a Doors song in the movie. To be honest,
that's what gets really annoying with me when they play like the same 5 songs over and over. And here's All Along the Watchtower, and it's like, come on,
because they tease. I can't remember who it was. Something about. I ain't gonna tell you. I'll just let you see the movie. Okay, I gotta find this here. I was looking, I got distracted. Q. Where's Q? Q. Quentin. There we go. It's under Quentin Tarantino. Treat Her Right by Roy Head. The Bob Seger System with Ramblin' Gamblin'. Hush by Deep Purple. A Mug Root Beer ad. The Village Callers with Hector. Son of
that's Godzilla. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Son of a Lovin' Man by the Buchanan Brothers. Paxton and Quigley's had to. Oh, that's from the movie. Okay. Tanya, that's another ad. Good Thing and Hungry by Paul Revere and the Raiders. Kentucky Women by Deep Purple. Jenny Take a Ride by Mitch Ryder. The Circle Game by Buff Santee and Marie. Or Buff Santee and Marie. Mrs. Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel. Numero Uno. That's from an advertisement. Los Bravos with Bring a Little Lovin'. Another advertisement, another advertisement, another advertisement. Hey Little Girl by D. Clark.
Well, I mean, I'll check it out.
Neil Diamond's on it with Brothers Loves Traveling Band. There's some a bunch more. Yeah, more Paul Revere, Mr. Sun, Mr. Moon. A bunch of stuff on here. Yeah, Vanilla Fudge will keep me hanging on. Stuff like that. It's not as typical. It's different. It's very different for a Tarantino movie. So
I think the only one I really have a lot of memory of is probably Reservoir Dogs, and I think I saw it twice. So, but that's the one I like the best, I think.
This has violence in it, but it's not until like one major scene, I'd say. Like, I mean, it's not really tension either. Yeah.
The only violence I really get bothered by is like the big CGI fights, like the superhero battles. That's the only
John Dykstra did the special effects for this. It's all. I don't think there's any CG in this. If there is, it's just to take out some wires and shit.
I mean, I'm not going to watch it in the theater, so yeah, I'll watch.
No. But I'm just saying, I don't think there's any of that, and even the sets and everything are all legit. Like I don't think they used hardly any, if any, CGI at all in this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what would you CGI? Except maybe like.
I can't say I'll ruin it, but like all of the gore and everything like that that's in the movie is all practical. So. And don't worry, I will say this: the dog does not get hurt, so don't worry.
Well, if they're going by what actually happened, then yeah.
No. I'm not even going to get into that. But Brad Pitt's character has a dog, and near the end, you'll see a scene where you think the dog's hurt, but the dog's fine. So just remember that while you're watching it.
All right, yeah, because that's the type of thing that would distract me too. But yeah, well, I won't remember this. Like, I probably won't see it for another 6 months. So.
Okay, well, if you do, when you do, I'll try and remind you if anything. So yeah, is there anything else, Rob, that's going on? So we can probably cut this off soon, I bet, because you're in there watching porn anyway.
Hell, I have a few up.
The only other thing is, let me just make a mental note here. The only other thing that's going on is that Sony bought Insomniac Game Studios. It's the only other thing that I see that's trending. A lot of people think the guys who did Ratchet and Clank, they did the latest Spider-Man game, which is damn good. If you haven't played it yet, what is wrong with you? get your ass out to the store and get it. It's really good. So Sony bought Spider-Man, Insomniac. Okay, nothing much else going on, except I got a package in the mail today. Should we cover that?
Let's show everybody what Mecha sent Rob today.
It's not porn.
It's not porn.
It might be food porn.
It might be food porn. Ooh, food porn's good.
So he's always saying I'm an award-winning chef, but this would be painful.
Yes, you are an award-winning.
I'm not.
So
I did make nachos the other day.
See. This is the other side. The address is on the other side, so we don't want to dox anybody.
Don't dox me.
We had a downpour today, so that's.
They're gonna be wet. Probably not though, because there's so much packaging and plastic around it. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, this is not very exciting, Rob. Let me know when you can actually do something on camera, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put it all up to the camera.
There we go.
One of my merch things.
Ooh, I want one.
Exclusively available at the Mecha Random merchandise store. So.
Yeah, like send me a self-addressed stamp.
Go ahead and throw that link.
I don't have a store yet.
I'll just send it. Okay.
Yeah, I got them printed up. So yeah, we got a lot more.
Oops, I have flashed off.
More where that came from.
Okay, Rob, keep going.
Okay, we got gigantic bubble wrap. She also, look.
Tupperware.
Tupperware. Whenever there's Tupperware involved, you know something's good. Something good's around the corner.
That or it's Tupperware.
So you bought Tupperware. What happened to remember Tupperware parties in the 70s? Remember that? That was a big thing.
Walmart happened.
Yeah, Walmart happened. You just go buy it cheaper. But no, they used to be like super expensive. That's why you needed a party for it.
This is the good Tupperware too.
That was before they started using the cheaper plastic.
I don't have a break on there, so
check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Homemade cookies.
I didn't get no cookies.
I like cookies, Mrs. Cartman.
So try them, Rob. Try them, Rob.
The first
on camera. I'm kidding.
A Midnight's Edge After Dark exclusive.
And no, horrible the cooking.
And they're not laced.
No,
Rob eating Mecca Random's cookies.
Are they soft?
Hopefully they're soft. They're the better, less overdone.
It's hot enough through the U.S. that they probably stayed soft the whole way.
Cookies are soft. I've got to be careful because I always get ants down here. Do you want ants? Because that's how you get ants.
Mm-hmm.
The cookies are very good.
So send Mecca how much to get cookies? Hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Mecca's famous cookies.
That was the first time I've made oatmeal raisin.
Only $29.99 a dozen.
So. That's the good cookies.
Yay! Good. The cookies: oatmeal, raisin, brown sugar, flour, butter.
Don't give away your secret recipe.
It's just literally the first recipe. And I use regular salted butter because it tastes better.
That's good. That's some good cookies.
Because you get that little thing on your tongue where it's like, ooh, especially if you're not somebody who likes super sweet. I'm more of lately I've been liking more savory sweets. So
there's no special ingredients, guys.
And there's a lot of them in case my brother shows up and eats them. So
which I figure that's like, okay, I'll just give you 2 dozen.
Yeah, right. Shit.
You like them?
Yes. I like
I should show this. Hang on. Let me go grab this here.
I have merch too. Oh, I want to buy a sticker, Miss Mecca, Deranged Lunatic. I'll figure out a way to do it. I got to figure out how big they are so I can tell you what size envelope. Or I guess if I have to do them, buy some envelopes myself. I'll do $6. And do you want me to sign them? Which one?
Build some.
So I think the
I got a few.
Sell them for $5. And have them do a self-addressed stamp envelope. I have a bookmark up here.
That's how you get ants.
So if you want one of those,
get ants. Leave them sealed.
I got to show this though. I finally got some frames, even though one of them broke. It's not going to show up real well. Shit. One of me and my homie and our buddy.
You got Clint Howard's thing. I didn't get a photo with him. Well, I mean, we have a picture that Jesse took, with the back of us.
I got some video of him too, but.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool. He said, "Keep it edgy." He's got his Grinch shirt on there. There's me and Rob. Look at my fat ass.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about
that shirt. That shirt is the reason why we got to hang out with Clint Howard, most likely.
Yeah, and I told him to wear that shirt that morning. He's like, "What should I wear today?" I'm like, "Wear that shirt."
Between that shirt and Jesse.
My friend Jesse. Mm-hmm.
Jesse's the bomb. He's my brother from another mother.
I was like, you know what? Not that I forgot about it, but it was like, yeah, I just want to take a picture of Clint Howard.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to scan that. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to scan that for Rob.
Show our pictures.
I got a bunch more, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So Rob got some of ours.
Some of those we may save for the Patreon, so we'll have to see here. So the ones
I have a lot of the vacation videos, like the little minute and twos, up on Patreon.
Oh, well,
so go check out my Patreon.
Yeah, that might be what I can do. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's the Anthony Rapp one. It's like a minute long. All the little onesies. I might put the panels up in their entirety over on Patreon. We'll see. I might just put them up as audio. Yeah. So
my head. I got my cool's going out the window. There we
find a picture.
So this is the big one here. It's myself, Mecca, and William Shatner. So autographed to boot.
Yeah.
That's a big one. And
that was a good one. I'm trying to find my Well, because I have the autograph. I'm gonna find the.
There's also
Yes, I do need to lose some weight, but you can fuck off. I'm not losing it. I like being chubby. So
there's Self Mecca
I'm
and
not.
John Delancey, aka Q. John Delancey was cool.
That's funny because that's my frame that broke was his autograph today. God damn it, I was pissed. It was a nice white frame too.
Hey, that frame was racist. It deserved a break. It was a white frame.
Shut up.
Hey, well, I support frame diversity. Okay.
You be quiet, Rob. You just be quiet. I'm old man Picard now.
I guess I'll scan these and I'll get a frame for these two. Actually.
All right, I can't find those. Oh, where's my picture of it? It's on my phone. I'll just hold my phone. I'm like, I thought I had it on my computer. We had a couple more photo things from Star Trek Las Vegas. Here, let me find them.
Yes, that's why I have a trench coat. I have a bit of a belly, but I don't like to.
There's Trek Yards. We met
there-
Trek Yards.
I thought you had a trench coat because you like going into adult bookstores.
That too.
And
It helps.
here is. That's the most in focus one. Me and Rob got to meet Will and Holly from Land of the Lost, and it does not want to focus. Okay, camera, do that. It doesn't want to focus, but that's the Land of the Lost picture. It just didn't want to focus
they were
there.
cool. They were really cool.
Yeah, and we got that autograph. So I got that autograph on this. Both of them.
And there's the one the bonus photo of Shatner of us and Shatner.
And then we got a bonus photo because my eyes were closed.
It actually looks like Shatner's eyes are closed too.
No, he's smiling.
Oh yeah, he's smiling. But Shatner,
Yeah, he's not really smiling in mine.
Doesn't he look like he's up to
Rob
something?
is always up to something. What are you talking about?
I know, doesn't he?
He's always
For-
up to something.
And then, listen, for all the and yeah, they hustle you in, they hustle you out. But at the very least, hello, how are you? He was just because he doesn't have to be there.
I didn't really give him that much out of him. I tried to say thanks for unblocking Doomcock, and he just ignored me. So
He might not be able to hear.
probably not. He's probably deaf.
Hello, how are you? Hello, good day, good afternoon. How are you? Just and they hustle in. And John Delancey was just like, you go to shake his hand. John Delancey, I went to shake his hand. He was like, whoa. I didn't know because he was, and someone told me a story that at a convention a few years ago, someone had a cold. John Delancey had a cold. He shook his hand, and the guy said, "I have the Q virus." So. Or something like that. So he doesn't shake people's hands. So
I don't shake hands either. I don't even bump fist. It's too weird.
CD Horde asks, did the Supreme Leader enjoy cookies?
Yes,
Supreme Leader. Who? Me?
Oh wow! I have to change personalities.
Get into character,
Ow.
quick. I mean, what? Who's Supreme Leader? Rob's not Supreme Leader. What?
There's only one Supreme Leader.
Changing personalities.
It is me, Skeletor.
Yeah. This is my the hat does not look cool. Like I don't look like Jason Statham. I look like an idiot now.
Who
I
is
look
this
like-
bumbling fool?
Marcel Marceau. Yes. The Supreme
Marcel
Leader.
Marceau? Where are you from and what do you want?
The Supreme Leader does very much enjoy the Miss Mecca random Mecca's cookies.
Cookies? What's a cookie?
He has to share them with the robot Shlomo. There's
You have
okay.
robots. I have robots too. Evil robots.
The Supreme Leader's finger gets very tired doing this.
Why is your finger sticking up in the air? Why are you pointing at me? That is not very nice.
The Supreme Leader has he doesn't know. He doesn't exactly know why. This is think of a good reason. The Supreme
It's
Leader
for a
doesn't-
fact. It's
It
for
is
a
for
fact.
yes. We do, Reggie. Yes. Yes, we for effect. Supreme Leader puts his finger up in the air because he's going to pick Skeletor's nose now. It's like that.
Good
He's giving-
luck trying.
He's giving now. He Supreme Leader looks like he's giving Skeletor prostate exam.
Good God, get your finger out of there, man! Damn fool!
I don't think Andre is going to like Supreme Leader.
Gonna go hit Skeletor.
I don't like you. You're weird.
We have $5 super chat from Miss Lori Roberts. Lori Roberts. Oh, there is picture of Lori Roberts. Hello. Disney whistleblower told SEC company inflated revenue for years now. The shareholders know what we knew. They know what we knew. Yes. And what did we know? We knew. We didn't know anything. That is the big thing. That is the big problem. We didn't know anything.
And I thought my intelligence was bad.
Yes, it is bad. This is very bad. But yes.
Rob needs a swig.
Supreme, this is Mighty Wolf says Supreme Leader, do it to Mecca. Do it with the finger. It's like this. So it is like that.
What he's trying to say is that they've lied to us. They've been lying to us all this time, trying to say that Star Wars is so important, blah, 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 blah. Star Trek rules.
Yes, Star Trek rules, but this is Discovery. Why do they call this show Discovery when they don't actually discover anything?
Because the original name was Diversity, and they thought that was too on the nose, and they already had printed up stuff that said STD.
Supreme Leader has actually Star Trek com badge. Would people like to see Star Trek com badge on Supreme Leader's hat over here?
No, maybe. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think he has Supreme. I think he still has it over there.
Can I call you Chekhov?
No, you may not call me Chekhov.
I think Supreme Leader should make videos talking about his thoughts on things like Star Trek.
Or
Han Solo, the movie there, or,
I bet he will have a hard-on for that boy Chekhov.
Supreme Leader's ear is very itchy for some reason. He doesn't know why.
Because of Chekhov.
That is correct. Supreme Leader has very important message to say. It is what
he likes little boys named Chekhov.
Hey, that was never proven in a court of law, okay?
Okay, he's not a little boy anymore, but still.
Which way does Supreme Leader's finger have to be pointed?
I'm pointing my finger. I'm mimicking you because you're a boob. Look at me. I'm Supreme Leader. I rule the world. Dune buggies. Look under your chair. Dune buggies for everyone.
Dune buggies. Dune buggy in every garage. My case, Dune buggy in every tent. Yes.
You live in tents. Oh, you poor soul.
Team Riggs super chatting of $5. They discovered how to make Star Trek series worse than Star Trek Nemesis. Yes.
This is true. This is very true. They made my Dune buggy movie look excellent.
I did like when Picard went to planet. The movie before Nemesis was Insurrection. Movie, and he banged old broad who was like 300, but she only looked 40.
That's correct. I have a different name for that movie. It's called Star Trek Erection.
I don't think I need to see Captain Picard's love life.
Oh, you would like to see my love life? Let me show you. I'll pull it out.
Captain Picard is very virile man, from what I hear. He does not even need the.
Look at it. It's veiny.
No. I'm being me too'd. Hashtag pound me too.
But it's by Picard, so it's okay.
Yeah. That's how it's like this here. Make it like militaristic. So
are you still here, Chekhov?
Yes, I'm still this. Let me give him prostate exam now. So see.
Goodness. Hello. Good day.
What is this? I think you have growth on your prostate.
No, I'm just happy to see you.
Oh, okay. In that case, yes. Does anybody have a wet nap now? Was it baby wipes? You've seen one of those sanitary wipes? I don't know. Supreme Leader always has hand sanitizer when he was.
Mecca has come prepared.
Yeah, Supreme Leader. So sanitizing the Supreme finger right here. See.
There is one finger in my butt, but you can put in 4.
Yes.
Do I have the finger?
It's
Do
true.
try.
Hashtag pound me too.
Hashtag pound me too.
No. This is more like an experiment. Let's see if we can pull this off.
What are we off pulling?
You have one now, correct? Try for 4. There are 2 fingers.
See?
There are 3 fingers. 4. There are 4 fingers. Thank you. Okay, pull it out. Pull it out. Thank you.
Now I want to Google that.
What did you say?
Star Trek Erection. I wouldn't Google that. Yes, but now I want to. You should Google that. Supreme Leader, you should Google that. Oh, that's right. Supreme Leader can't Google things and be on stream at the same time.
Hey, Supreme Leader is not giving the random mecha finger now. Something tells me she would like that.
Supreme Leader meal at Taco Bell the other day, $6.99 plus tax.
Yes, Supreme Leader had Taco Bell, but that is he was on this. Supreme Leader was on throne.
No. That's what I bought. A number 2, a Supreme Leader with a Mountain Dew and nachos. $6.99 plus tax.
I want nachos.
Nachos rule.
Yes, Supreme Leader doesn't know where we were going with these bits, but
I don't know, but you had your fingers up my ass a few minutes ago, so don't you touch my fucking nachos.
Yeah, no ass to mouth. That's not a good idea.
Mecca had promised me nachos.
No, I didn't. I said I want some.
I'm sure I have it on video somewhere.
Get your own nachos. We're all being Me Too'd. They're all being hashtag.
Supreme Leader from Russia. Nobody knows where Supreme Leader is from. Not even Supreme Leader. It is well-guarded secret. But Supreme Leader did reveal that he does not like Brie Larson because she has very small caboose.
Is it a secret like Section 31? Because let me tell you, everybody knows.
What the fuck kind of secret was that? That is like horrible, worst kept secret. That was almost as bad kept secret as who was
less kept secret than Liberace being gay. Yes.
Yes, that too. Yes. He wishes his brother George was here. No, he wishes he had man's hand up his anus. That's what he
would have been very on board with the 4-finger thing.
Oh, indeed, he would have been 4 fingers. But he's let me say to people who are planning to storm Section 31, I have 2 words for you. Predator drone. Okay, you do not want to mess with these people. Alpha J, Peter Griffin, shut up, you had your finger in my ass. Black Phoenix says he wants nachos. Supreme Leader will make the decree that every Thursday will be Nacho Thursday.
What about Tuesday?
Tuesday will be Taco Tuesday.
But I like nachos with my Tuesday taco.
They're the same thing.
What?
Make it with like the way I make nachos, it's the same thing. I make the same meat and I just put it on chips, or I put it in a burrito, or I put it in. Yeah.
Mind fucking blown. I'm going to Mecca's for Taco Tuesday on Thursday. Thank you.
Right now, I had some for lunch.
Soggy, as we all know, soggy taco is just quesadilla. That's all we know. So very well. So Supreme Leader decrees that Thursday will be Taco Thursday at the random Mecca's house.
You all are a bunch of fucking idiots.
I'm giving Skeletor prostate exam right now.
Get your finger out of my ass now.
No.
You have very bony ass, I tell you. Just like
you're surprised. Well, my name is Skeletor, and my head is a big yellow fucking skull. Of course I have a bony ass, you boob.
So how'd you get all those muscles, though?
I work out. I have this really great place I go to on Thursdays after I have nachos with you.
He has Skeletor has membership to Planet Fitness, as we all know.
Yes, it's very cheap there, and I meet a lot of cool chicks.
Yes, he does. He does. Like that Evil Lynn? Like
No. She's kind of we're on the outs at the moment.
Evil, is she totally evil, or is that just in bedroom? Do we know that?
No, she's kind of boring in bed.
Oh, she's boring in bed. Does she? Did you give her the Dirty Sanchez?
Where did you find this fucking guy?
I don't know. He just stumbled into the hotel room that night, and then he's just been stuck in this.
Why do you feed him and keep him around? This is crazy. This is insane. I'm the crazy one here, and I'm the one who's noticing that this guy should be in a home somewhere. Instead, you guys are feeding him and keeping him in the shed with Melman and that other guy.
The Jacob Bentley. Yes, he's going to have play. He's going to be insurance broker to my army. Yes, as we all know, it is very difficult to get the insurance coverage for missile attack. But like a good neighbor, Jake Bentley is there. Okay.
Jake from State Farm.
Yes, he is. He is really actually Jake from State Farm. So he's very tired of that joke. Last time he heard that joke, he body slammed someone. He says, "Don't ever say that joke again in my presence." So not even Supreme. This is the only person Supreme Leader is actually that dude is out of his mind.
If anybody is listening, I'm going to stand outside of Snake Mountain. Please tell He-Man where I'm at. I want to die now. Get me off of this fucking show.
I think it's
Typo. See more of Supreme Leader here of my video from we were talking about Elvis. Did you watch the Elvis series? What does Skeletor think about the Netflix animated Elvis spy series that's coming?
What is an Elvis?
Elvis Presley.
Elvis, the king of rock and roll, who ate too many peanut butter banana sandwich and died on toilet.
What are his secret powers?
He make hips swivel,
Ninja.
and he make women's panties fall off.
Ninja and falling off panties.
And he's a spy.
And he's a spy.
Mm-hmm.
This could be very useful.
Here, does Supreme Leader want to read the article? Read the article.
Supreme Leader.
I'm pasting it in chat. Read it.
Supreme Leader time index this one, or are we past that?
I'll say the one for the money.
That's it.
A two for the show.
Supreme Leader Elvis story. Because we talked about this on my channel, but
a little bit of Elvis.
I say.
Caught in a trap made by Skeletor. And Supreme Leader can't get me no more.
Yeah,
Netflix
Go ahead.
Netflix has Elvis Presley animated spy series in works. Yes, really.
007,
Prepare to
baby.
see Presley Elvis like you've never seen before him. According to Hollywood Reporter, Netflix has new animated series for adults about Elvis in works. Titled King Agent, this series sees iconic rocker as spy working for the secret government. They admit he's spy working for secret government program.
Who the hell came up with that name? That's a horrible name.
Program to help battle dark forces that threaten country he loves, all while holding down their job as famous rock and roll singer on planet. From time Elvis was young boy, he always dreamed of being a superhero, fighting crime, and saving world. Priscilla Presley, Elvis' former wife, said in statement. Agent King lets him do just that. My co-creator John Eddy and I so excited to be working with Netflix, Sony Animation on this amazing project, getting chance to show world Elvis as they never seen before. Presley and Eddy will execute. They will be executive, not execute. I got my hopes up. So execute. Will execute executive positions and produce series. While Archer Mike Arnold writes and acts as showrunner. Jerry Schilling serve as consultant on series. In addition to consulting producer, John Varvatos create custom designs for Elvis costume on show. Agent King does not have release date yet. The series is a production of Sony Animation, Sony Picture TV, Authentic Brands Group. So Elvis, King of Rock and Roll, even though he's dead for 40-odd years, going to be a spy. Elvis can do it all, man. ABC's again. But Supreme Leader is very upset. Supreme Leader went to Las Vegas. He did not see one fucking Elvis impersonator.
That's because I was in Hawaii, motherfucker.
That's because you have to pay the chapel a week in advance.
The chapel.
So you guys tried to get married, huh?
Who's getting married?
By the power vessel in me. Hunk of burning love. I pronounce you king and queen.
Well, that's one of the packages that we were looking at, actually.
You're caught in a trap. You can't walk out. She owns your ass now.
Bunny fingers. Bunny ears. This is too much to have fun with, the way these are set up.
Does anyone know if women have prostates? I'm giving her the finger.
You're sticking your finger in her boobs, man. This is all right. I could be a spy. I'm 007, all right.
I think this would be a great idea. This sounds very fun, right? If they do it right, it's going to be an adult animated series. So, could you imagine something like Elvis and an Archer sort of vibe? Right?
No, man, I'm not Elvis Presley, man. My name is Jake Black, and I'm like an insurance agent. Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous. I think it could work, and that's and like I said in my video, I think that's the type of thing that he probably would have wanted to voice himself, because he was into doing all of his kung fu stuff. He was into just being he was that type of personality, right? I think it might be fun. I think this might be really fun.
Isn't your finger tired yet, Rob?
Supreme Leader, who's Rob? I'm Supreme Leader. Supreme Leader is getting very tired.
Well, Supreme Leader has lost us like 25 subscribers. I'm just kidding.
Wes, I want their names. Supreme Leader wants their names. You do not unsubscribe.
Bob, Jim, Phil, Greg, Peter, Marsha. Who's the rest of the Brady Bunch?
Find this Bob Jim.
Oliver. Cousin
Can
Oliver.
be good, or it could be the new Lancelot Link Secret Chimp. I have Lancelot Link Secret Chimp on DVD, and I actually think it is kind of good, but I gotta be in the mood for it. And it's hilarious because it's apes. Now I kind of want to watch Lancelot Link Secret Chimp.
I like that shit.
I do too. It's
I think we should make movies like that.
Right? Dress up
make a
cats.
whole movie just as cats or monkeys and dogs. All right, guys, let's close this out. Rob, where'd you go?
I don't know.
All right, I'm back. What I missed?
It's time to close out. Yes, please end this shit before I die of stupidity.
Too late. You like what we do? Hey, I got pretty nice teeth. I got pretty good teeth. Huh.
Yeah, for an 80-year-old.
Not bad for an 80-year-old. Yeah, it's supposed to be twice your age. You like what we do, like, subscribe here, subscribe on the main channel, click the bell icon so you're notified of all the latest content, and head on over to Patreon if you really like what we do. Bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, behind the edge, making of videos, and more. Sports channel for as little as $1 a month. You don't like Patreon? We have Subscribestar. You don't like Subscribestar? We have PayPal. You can support the channel directly. Cut out the middleman. Well, PayPal does take a vig, but and if you don't have the means to support us that way, subscribe, and click the bell icon. Share with your friends, your relatives, neighbors, enemies, because we cannot do this without you. Mecca, tell them about your channel.
Subscribe to me or else. I'm like so close to 42,000. You have no idea. It's like 70 away. If you haven't subscribed, why haven't you? Just click the little thing. Make sure you're still
subscribed. Yeah.
Make sure to unsubscribe you and you're just watching me in your feed or whatever. Yeah, 42K special. We'll do a big party or something this weekend if we hit it this weekend. That's being a little too hopeful and optimistic for YouTube these days, but yeah. And yeah, check me out wherever.
Will there be dune buggies?
No. Well, there's a Dune Buggy video on my channel.
Oh, I'm going to watch it right now.
Also, I put some stuff up on Patreon. I got an early access video. I just put a podcast over there for as little as $1 a month. You could just support YouTube, and I wouldn't have to worry about demonetization. So that's it. What else do I do? Oh, Creepy Little Book. Go over to Creepy Little Book at night. High Strangeness.
Yes.
And the High Council. I'll be on the High Council tomorrow.
Can I leave? Is this over yet?
Just everybody, we saw a video. Actually, Jeff from World Class Bullshitters. He's a bit under the weather, and let's hope for a speedy recovery. But just send him some good thoughts. Just because I met him. He's a good guy, and we all met him. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, everybody. Check out World Class Bullshitters, Ethan Van Sciver. Check out Captain Robert Apel. Check out Doomcock. Check out the Burr Network. Check out Egotastic Fun Time. Check out Professor Geek. Check out the Fan Man. We need to have Professor Geek on again. Check out Jesse Miller, Crow's Nest. Who else? Who am I forgetting? A lot of people. Check out Mindless Entertainment, Creepy Little Book.
Jesse's live right now. Looks like Anna's live with Mary.
Yep. Mindless Entertainment and all them guys too. Yep.
Yes. So everybody, thank you for joining us. If we didn't mention you, please don't take it personally. There's a lot of people to remember. So
which channel the High Council on? I don't know. I think it's on Ethan's tomorrow on Comic Artist Pro Secrets. So Ethan Van Sciver's.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Yep, Annie Trucker, Truck Yards, all those guys too. Yep, Echo Base,
the red shirts. Yeah, check those guys out. We gotta have the red shirts back on.
Yeah, we're supposed to have Truck Yard guys on too at some point here, hopefully soon.
All right, everybody. Thanks for
Echo
joining
Base
us.
and all those guys too. So yeah.
Echo Base, Matt Kadish, those guys too. Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
I'm crispy.